But we have said this about all the Canadian teams in the Western Conference right now, and we can say it about the team we're about to talk about, the Vancouver Canucks, very much in the thick of the postseason picture, just like a lot of different teams right now. So to help talk about their potential plans for the trade deadline, let's bring in our Canucks Insider, Iain MacIntyre. You can see his work on sportsnet.ca during the Canucks broadcast as well. Iain, are you surprised with the success of the Vancouver Canucks this season?
I think everybody's a little bit surprised. They did make some key changes in the offseason, adding JT Miller and Tyler Myers, among others, and those guys have helped, especially JT Miller. He's been one of their best players all season. But they also knew that organically, with the really good young players that they had, that the team should naturally be better. And Elias Pettersson is better. Brock Besser has had kind of an up and down year. He's injured at the moment. But the biggest surprise has been Quinn Hughes. As a 20-year-old rookie defenseman, the poise and confidence he's playing with is remarkable. And so the team did expect to be better, but nobody thought they were going to be leading the Pacific Division with a couple of months to go.
So with that said, given the success they've had this year, where do you think they can improve position-wise? Before we get into player-specific, where do you think the hole is on this team right now?
Well, there really aren't a whole lot of holes. System-wise, they have to be tighter defensively. And they could use maybe an upgrade to the bottom pairing and certainly more defensive depth, which everybody is looking for. Everyone in the league also seems to be looking for another top six winger who can score. And certainly the Canucks wouldn't say no to that, but their offense has been surprisingly strong this year. Nobody, just as nobody thought they would be leading the division, not many people thought they'd be a top 10 NHL team in terms of offense. They've scored 5 or more goals, something crazy. I think 17 or 18 times already. So I think probably, the defense would be the neediest area, but just depth generally everywhere.
So given what you hear is available ahead of the trade deadline, what do you think, or who do you think are some of the players they should be targeting ahead of or on February 24th?
Well, by all indications, the forwards who are available, the Chris Kreiders, Tyler Toffoli's, they're probably going to be priced out of what Vancouver's willing to pay, both in terms possibly of salary, but especially in the kind of assets that Vancouver would have to relinquish. Remember, they did give up a conditional first-round pick and a third to get JT Miller from the Tampa Bay Lightning. If the Canucks make the playoffs this year, obviously that first-rounder will be going to Tampa. So it's not like they have a ton of assets to spend. And that's partly why I think the most logical thing for them to do is to go add another defenseman and a guy who helps their third pairing, preferably somebody with some playoff experience, preferably somebody who plays a robust game, because we've seen the games get more physical here, as they always do down the stretch. And so when you look at those boxes they're trying to check, one of the guys who certainly hits all of them is Brenden Dillon, the defenseman for the San Jose Sharks. 29 years old, has a lot of hockey left in him, is still going to be expensive to acquire, and the Canucks would have to move some pieces around to fit him under the payroll, because they're capped out like so many other teams. But he would be a good fit for their bottom pair, left side guy. And he's also, because he's a Vancouver kid, I think the Canucks would have a reasonable chance to re-sign him at a number that they can live with. And if you can do that, if you have the player beyond just these next couple of months, then it makes the expenditure of assets, whatever those will be, a little easier to accept.
And how much would it help a guy like Quinn Hughes? I mean, this is a guy, Brenden Dillon, who'd be 9 years older than Quinn Hughes right now. And the Canucks, we know, are so reliant on the young rookie to do all these things, which is why he's in, or if not the favorite for the Calder right now. But how much would this help the young team in general, let alone Quinn Hughes on the back end, if there's an older, more veteran presence on that blue line and in that locker room?
Well, I think, they do have some older guys as well. The third pairing has featured Jordy Ben for most of the year. Oscar Fantenberg was there for a bit. He's hurt now. I think he would just, Brenden Dillon, just give everybody a lot more confidence. I doubt that he would play with Quinn Hughes. Hughes has been playing mostly with Chris Tanev, and Hughes plays the left side, Tanev on the right, and that's probably been their most consistent pairing. But having Hughes in the line, played 60 playoff games, 10 playoff rounds in the last 4 seasons, which is more than anybody on this team. So he would add to their experience. He would add to their toughness. And for all that, he's also a guy who can play the game. You know, he has played with top players. He can skate. He can make a pass. I think he would make the group stronger, obviously deeper, and just give everybody, including Quinn Hughes, a little more confidence when he's in the lineup.
And it's not like these kids need it a lot of the times. We'll see if the Canucks make the moves necessary to put them over the edge and make the postseason for the first time in a while. Iain, thanks so much for this.
Thanks, Faizal.